Welcome back to another episode of Spaceman 2.0. And here you're going to listen to the real Spaceman and then as well get a taste for where the real information comes from. Anyways.
Deprogramming the brainwashed simply by uncovering the truth. He's the Spaceman with a view from space on AM 640.
I'm the guy that calls space. It's a view from space on AM 640. You can email me at spaceman@640toronto.com or space@640toronto.com. This topic tonight is just absolutely incredible. The emails. Haven't had a chance to read them all yet, but the content is, well, fantastic. Genesis 5:3 says that Seth, the third son of Adam, was in Adam's own likeness and after his own image. Nowhere the Bible says that Cain was in Adam's likeness. In the genealogic record of Adam, Cain is missing, which should not be according to the law of birthright if Cain was the son of Adam. In fact, in both genealogies in Genesis and Luke, Cain is, in fact, missing. You can say that there are two lines of man, one of which was the godly line found in Seth, and the other the ungodly line as found in Cain. Even agreeing to that, we don't find Adam's name mentioned in the ungodly line. It only says in Genesis 4:16, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod. And Cain knew his wife. Further, please let me know why Cain was the kind of person he was, while Abel and Seth were of the spiritual godly line. Why? In fact, Cain comes through as totally wicked and violent. In Genesis 3:20 it says, and Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. But no words in the Bible say that Adam was the father of all living. It's because of Cain where Adam could not be the father of all living. Because after all, Cain was not fathered by Adam, and he was living. Someone is bound to ask, did God tell Eve to watch out for the serpent, or the serpent would seduce her? God simply gave the word. He said not to partake of that knowledge. Don't fool with that word. And what did that tree produce? The tree of knowledge produced death. Cain killed his brother Abel. The wicked killed the righteous. Where have you heard that before? It happens over and over and over and over, repeating itself incessantly since the beginning of time, hasn't it, on this planet? It sets a pattern. The tree of knowledge produced clever men, men of renown. But their ways are the ways of death. Clever, but deadly. Sort of reminds me of the people that are running our world today. Clever, but deadly. You may say, but Cain was religious. He believed in God. It's true, but more than the unbelievers and the atheists, the Pharisees, the Sadducees of Jesus' day. It was the devil who believed in Jesus as the Son of God. They mingled too with the godly. Remember, the devil is called the angel of light. The devil's fear of God is not a saving fear of God as Cain's fear of God was, not like that of Abel. They fear God only for his judgment and not fear him and obey him as Lord. and master. If the devil fears God in the proper way, then the devil will obey what God has said. God said, "Don't eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die." And the Spirit said to the woman, "You surely wouldn't die." Genesis 3:4. Basically, the conversation back in the Garden of Eden with Eve speaking with the serpent would go something like this. Eve says to the serpent, "Oh, we can't eat of that tree. We can't know those things." The serpent says, "Why?" Eve replies, "Well, because we'll surely die. We're told we'll die. We will experience something not good." The serpent said, "Well, doesn't God love you?" Eve's answer is, "Well, yes, of course." Then the serpent said, "How could he possibly kill something that he loves? You will surely not die." Call me God a liar. Eve thought to herself and said, "The serpent's right. He loves me too much for me to die and have something bad happen to me. So I guess it would be okay. I surely won't die." And so she was seduced, and Satan's seed entered the human race. Look where we are today. They've come a long way, haven't they? One or two more slick moves, and they have the entire planet under their control. Cain was a hybrid. They're throwing that word around a lot too now. You know what a hybrid is, don't you? It's what's formed when you mix two different species. The result is no longer pure like the original. They're even doing it with your car. They're hybrids, just like in the Garden of Eden. A mixture of two different species. A gasoline and electric car. The same old tricks over and over. There's nothing new under the sun. Simply history repeating itself over and over again. The result is no longer pure like the original when you have a hybrid. When Eve allowed the serpent to seduce her, when Eve allowed the beast to mingle his seed with hers, she produced a creature called Cain that was not pure human. He was the wicked one. Notice how different Cain was from Abel. Notice how different Cain was from Seth. He was angry with God and would not obey his word and correct his mistakes. And Cain was very wroth. And in his mind, the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you like that?" And the Lord said to Cain, "You're very angry. And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, should you not be accepted?" Genesis 4, 5, 6, and and 7. It's all recorded in there. But Cain never wanted to correct himself, which is the character of the devil. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, when they were in the field. Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him. Written in Genesis 4:8. Do you know the most famous hybrid in the world? It's the mule. Yeah, the mule. It's a cross between a donkey and a horse. I'm an old farm kid. A mule is a domesticated hybrid animal that results from crossing a mare, female horse, and a jack, a male donkey. A mule looks somewhat like both of its parents. When you cross a donkey with a horse, you get a mule. Mules are hardy, much more resistant to disease. But guess what? Firsthand, I found this out long ago. As a little kid, I knew this. I was taught this. Mules don't have babies of their own, except in the most extreme, rare case. Animals which cannot have offspring, animals which cannot impregnate their own species, are said to be sterile. All male mules and most female mules are sterile. Mules have strong muscles. They're bigger than donkeys, too. They're great for work on the farm. Of course, before tractors. But they do not reproduce. That's the most famous hybrid in the world, the mule. Cross a donkey with a horse, you get a mule. You're not going to get another mule if you mate two mules. You're going to have to mate a donkey and a horse to get another mule. They can't reproduce. In Exodus 13:13, the Bible says, every firstling of an ass, donkey, thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if you will not redeem it, then you will break its neck. And
with that being said, that's the Spaceman from 6:40 a.m. and he's the real Spaceman telling you about Cain and Abel. May this wake you up that Earth is your testing ground against the evil Lucifer, who can't reproduce and needs you to reproduce, and that's why he has your reproductive organs under his control. Therefore, this is a wake-up call. Earth is your testing ground. Spaceman 2.0, and out.